So today I've been asked to talk to you about shin splints, or more specifically, that pain that you're feeling on the inside of your shin bone, somewhere between your ankle and your knee, and even more specifically, probably that pain that you're aware of that keeps you from running, it keeps you from walking, it's stopping you play the sports that you love, be it cricket or badminton or tennis, anything where there's lots of impact and lots of repetitive pounding on a hard surface makes you a candidate for shin splints. So today I'll talk to you about three things: what shin splints actually are, why it's a problem, and how physiotherapy can help you. And just before I do that, I'll give you an introduction to me. That's me there. And my previous career was working with Darlington and Middlesbrough football clubs here in the Northeast. And that's me more recently working in America with Manchester United footballer Paul Scholes. So sports injuries and things like shin splints, as you can imagine, are really common to me. The real problem with shin splints, it's obviously the pain that you're feeling. That's definitely real, and that's definitely a problem. But the real problem, it's often a weakness of the muscles in your back, and it can lead to really tight calf muscles. And this is something that often gets missed and gets overlooked by a lot of people. They look at the shins and they sort of give you the treatment and the advice that you need, but more often than not, that just settles the pain. It doesn't actually cure the problem. So from a physio point of view, and from a person who's watching this video, it's really important to be aware that often one of the problems can be that you will have a weakness or a stiffness in your lower back area. So that's something that if you come in to see us, we'll talk to you about that and we'll look at that for you as well. So let's confirm that you do actually have shin splints. This is a horrific, and it's probably the best way to explain it, it's a horrific pain on the inside of your shin bone. It gets to the point, and I personally have suffered from this. I'm from Hartlepool, so I love to be active, and I love to sort of run along the seafront and keep myself as active as I possibly can. And it's something I've suffered with myself from doing too much. You get so tempted to be active and to be out and sort of enjoying the fresh air, and it can lead to a horrendous pain on the inside of your shin bone. And it will come on, more often than not, it'll come on gradually, and is nearly always worse when you're active. So if you're a walker, let's say around Gisborough or Durham, or you like to run around Hartlepool or Darlington, or like I say, you're a cricketer, or you're even just getting fit and running around the really hard sort of recreational fields of the Northeast to try and get your fitness up for your football or your five-a-side, then you're a candidate for shin splints. And this pain, like I say, comes on gradually. And what I mean by that is it may take originally sort of 20, 30, 40 minutes for this pain to come on the inside of your shin. But then as this injury goes on over a period of weeks and months, and that's usually pretty common, this pain will get worse. It'll get more intense quicker. So you used to feel it after 30 or 40 minutes. Now you're feeling it after 20, 15, 10, to the point where you literally cannot continue to go on with the sport that you enjoy doing. One more thing about shin splints, this is huge. It's often to do with footwear. I see plenty of people who come into my physio clinic who've changed footwear recently. They've sort of traded in something that's really great in terms of safe and stable for something that looks great, and that can lead to problems with shins. So if you've changed your footwear recently, that might be something to consider. And also something which might surprise you as well, it can be also linked to, let's say a person goes on holiday for 2 weeks and they move into sandals or they move into flip-flops, and they then sort of come back and their foot has been used to being in a certain position. They come back and they go straight for the runners, and that foot is not used to being in that position anymore, and it's not used to the pounding. So the footwear is a big thing. Certainly consider that, and even very common in ladies who switch from high heels obviously through the day to trainers on a night, that can lead to lots of problems with shin splints. So what exactly is shin splints? Well, the muscles at the front of the bone in your shin, they're getting stretched a lot. So every time your foot lands, whether you're playing tennis, whether you're running, whether you're walking in Gisborough, wherever it'll be, every time that foot lands, those muscles at the front of your bone are getting stretched. And if that happens repetitively, and it happens repetitively as your foot lands in the wrong position, you're a huge candidate for shin splints. And if you have a quick look at the image there on the left, you can see exactly the two real major points, or two really common points where we would see pain in the shin bone. And also it will happen because usually of a bad back or a stiff back or a weak back, your calf muscle gets so tight, and if that calf gets really tight, that can also put pressure against the bone, and that in itself can be very painful. It's one of the things that we can treat as you come in for physio, and it's definitely an overuse injury where your foot lands wrong. So overuse as in you're doing lots of walking, you're doing lots of running, you're doing lots of tennis, lots of badminton or squash or cricket, whatever the sport is that you love to play. You do too much of it, too much pounding will cause that pain on the inside of your shin bone. Best way to imagine it, think of an elastic band. Somewhere between pulling an elastic band at the top and at the bottom, you'll have extreme tension in the middle of that band. Now, if you imagine pulling that tendon, think of it inserting somewhere up towards your knee and finishing somewhere at the bottom near your foot. When that band gets pulled really, really tight, or that tendon gets pulled tight because of this constant overuse, it's under a hell of a lot of tension. the pain will surface usually where that major tension point is, somewhere in the middle. So around about the chin bone area is the equivalent of pulling an elastic band really tight and the tension being somewhere in the middle. So why are you getting the pain and the restriction? Well, it's because these fibers are constantly stretched. So you're out for 20 minutes, 30 minutes every night trying to pound the streets. These tendons are just not getting a chance to rest. So you get what is called micro tears, which leads to inflammation. So think of micro tears, they're just these tiny, tiny little tears, which on the face of it, you don't even know going on. But if you get lots of them, they lead to pain and they lead to inflammation. And also the restriction is caused because the calf muscle gets so tight that it kind of feels as though your foot and your ankle and your shin just pretty much don't want to work. So that's the pain and the restriction caused by shin splints. So really important, how can physio help? Well, it's very common, particularly in summer. Like I said, it's an injury where everybody likes to be active and they just sort of drag out their old footwear, their old trainers, which might not be appropriate anymore, and they get on with a routine. For example, a person who might be running something like the Great North Run, never ran before, middle 40s, sort of 50 age group, get on with their running, and all of a sudden their body's not used to coping with that type of level of activity or pound in the streets, and it leads to pain in the shins. So from a physio point of view, you need hands-on treatment, and this is what we'll give you. We'll give you an explanation of your injury tailored to you. So if you're a runner, if you're a walker, we'll give you different advice. If you were either of those two versus also somebody who plays squash or tennis, we'll tell you exactly what you need to do to avoid it. We'll look at your footwear, we'll look at the position of your foot, and massive with this injury, we give you exercises to do at home. So you need to be doing something to help yourself, and we'll give you those exercises. And for me, the real value for money in a physio, if you're coming in to see a physiotherapist, we'll tell you exactly when it's safe to return. There's no point in resting for a week with these injuries. Sometimes you need to rest for 3, even 4 weeks. But in the meantime, you get your treatment, you get your hands-on advice and treatment, and you'll get your exercises for you to do at home. So you'll be pretty confident by the time the 3 or 4 weeks is up after the rest, and you've been doing all these other things. It could be that you can start bike riding, you can swim, you can do Pilates or yoga, things like that to keep fit, and we'll guide you all the way through on things that you can be doing to help yourself. Typically a person with shin splints that we would see 3 to 4 weeks rest and treatment, 3 or 4 sessions you're going to need of really deep massage, some stretches, and some great home exercises for you to be working on to help yourself. So where are we? We're in Darlington, Durham, Gisborne, Hartlepool here in the northeast. That's a picture there of inside one of our clinics here in Hartlepool. And what we always offer with anybody who comes to visit us for any injury, you can get your session free if physio can't help. So if it turns out that it isn't shin splints and it's an injury that we're not able to help you with, we'll give you your session for free. But we will also still we'll aim to tell you exactly what you've done and who the right person is for you to visit to get that injury sorted out. So the number you need to book your physio session with us is 0800 043 8671. And I'll just give you a quick glimpse inside one or two of our clinics. That's in Gisborough. That's the reception area in Gisborough. And the staff that we've got here, they're really active, they're really fit, really fun, really friendly. And that's an in-house yoga class that we do once a week. We also do a Pilates class as well. So that's some of the staff that you would probably come into contact with once you book a session with us. And that image there, that's Vicky. She's there in our Hartlepool office talking to one or two of the patients there. So number you need, 0800 043 8671, get you to us. And just to confirm, shin splint is definitely an injury that we can help you with. You need hands-on treatment, you need a great explanation tailored to suit you and the sport that you want to do or the thing that you want to get back to doing, and you need exercises to do at home, and you need to know exactly when it's safe to return. Do not make the mistake with shin splints of resting for a week and putting up with this for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, which is classic. People rest for a week, go back, rest for another week, go back, pain's still there. So these things can go on if you're not careful. To book your session, 0800 043 8671. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.